Now, a lot of you know I put this hat on because I do believe in some of the America First policies, even though I think Donald Trump is a criminal and he's probably going to go to jail. And as you know, I'd probably vote Christie if it came down to him versus Biden. He did pledge to continue building the wall, but I guess Biden's doing that too now. And when the UAW strike conversation came around, we had to debate, did Trump really do anything to put American people first? And we found a couple small things, but they were pretty small for 4 years. And according to Stormy Daniels, that's not the only small thing when it comes to Trump. Well, I might be taking this hat off because Cenk Uygur has entered the race officially. And I don't have to worry about, is he for the working class people? Of course he is. Is he for the unions? Of course he is. So let's talk about it. Biden looks like he's going to lose to Trump, at least from the polling. And this is a lot like when Hillary Clinton ran. I still think Bernie would have beat Trump because they're both against the establishment, against the billionaires, and for, helping out the average person. Or at least that's what Trump said. So I believe that Cenk would have a way better chance against Trump than Biden does. They're both similar candidates. And, you look at Biden from before he even got into office, he was promising his big money people that nothing would fundamentally change. I've been watching Cenk for years, in the same way that Trump was a nightmare for the establishment, Cenk will even be 10 times more of a nightmare. He really will try to get us medical insurance, paid family leave, and he really will fight for the common person. And I've been watching him for years. I don't have any question about this. But since I've been attending the Republican debates and wearing this hat, I have realized that there is some good positions that Republicans have, like taking the border invasion seriously. Cenk did show recently that he takes it seriously. I would want to know his plan there. Then there's the issue of crypto. The only thing I've heard any progressive say is something bad about crypto. Well, if it's just like a beanie baby, like you say, why does there need to be any kind of regulation about it then? I want to know, will he at least end the war on crypto? And the other thing is about fiscal responsibility. There is a dangerous left-leaning conspiracy theory going around called modern monetary theory. According to these brain-dead lunatics, you could just print infinity money and no inflation will happen, when we know that's not true. We see it all the time in crypto with it happening, where if you print lots of money, it causes inflation. And like a lot of good misleading conspiracy theories, they use little nuggets of truth to kind of sell it. It is true that the government can't run out of money. That part's true. But what they could do is cause everybody's money to be almost worthless. And it's also true that the availability of goods is another part of how valuable a currency is, or inflation. Basically, the value of the money is like the amount of stuff you have access to divided by the total number of dollar bills, something on that order. They're trying to sell it as if the number of dollar bills doesn't even matter. And we saw with coronavirus, each one of us got something like $1,300, how much inflation that ended up causing, although it was matched by $1,300 on average to the PPP and everything. And also it was paired with a reduction in availability of goods. That was a key thing. Supply chain disruption. But if we ever did have a leader who was a progressive, who bought into this MMT, it very well could destroy this whole country, and we could end up like Venezuela and these other South and Central America countries where their currency just becomes worth nothing. And we are in a bad situation where we have this $33 trillion debt. And the most likely thing that's going to happen is we inflate the hell out of the bill as it stands. That's probably what's going to happen. That's why people like Bitcoin. The other part about MMT that is true is that if we really wanted to, we could end homelessness, or we could do some of the things we want to. But what they're not telling you is if you don't want to inflate your currency, it has to be matched by some sort of cuts. And the most obvious place to cut is military spending, plain and simple. We spent so much damn money, and then people are coming in through the southern border in the millions, and they just act like, oh, no big deal, nothing bad could possibly happen. So, put in the comments, will you be voting for Cenk? For me, it's a tough decision. I'll be watching carefully as to see if he talks about some of these subjects matters and if he'll leave us crypto bros alone and what his plans are on some of these topics. See if he's aware enough to know that you just really can't print money nonstop and give everybody $1 million, or else it inflates the currency to hell. And I'll be waiting because voting for Christie in the Republican primary, that's a hell of a way to stop this dangerous candidate, Donald Trump. Not very many people even vote in the primary, so right out of the gate, your vote matters a lot. Whereas with Cenk, I could be taking that huge power and just flushing it down the toilet. I don't know. But it sure would be nice if a progressive did win. The American people have been pushed so far. It really would be nice to have a president who was going to fundamentally change things and give more to the bottom end than these billionaires and not take all this corporate money, get money out of politics. So let's watch as things progress.